especially in the first half, giving people too much room. And when it was 0-0, you know, it was touch and go, it was a battle, and then they scored, you know, 2 bad goals really, and you know, they're in a driving seat then, and we seemed to lose a bit of confidence, I felt, when the 2 goals went in, and from that moment onwards, we never got going again. Half time, you know, I've had a few words with them. Second half was that a little bit better, but you know, the game was gone. The game was gone at half time, 3-0 down. And we keep saying it's a painful lesson, but they've had 1 or 2 of these and they don't learn. But at the moment, as I say, I've got what I've got. I've got to get on with it, and hopefully next year, irrespective of what happens, do something about it. And, you know, at half time, you know, I've had a go at them, and well, you know, some strong words were said, but I mean, I shouldn't have to do that. Not especially after 2 good results. They should have gone out there, you know, full of themselves today. And yeah, I've had to have a go at half time. It wasn't improved in performance second half. But as I say, I mean, they're experienced professionals, some of them, and they shouldn't take strong words from me before they start pulling their finger out. But having said that, you know, yeah, I've been with other clubs where the same thing happens. In our position, it's even more wanting, really, because of the position we're in.
And we'll analyse Torquay's position at the bottom of the table shortly. They're now 10 points away from safety. It's been a busy week for Eddie May's team. They shared the points with Gillingham on...
At Torquay, Goals chairman Mike Bateson has announced that for the Easter Monday derby, the Plymouth fans will now be given the popular terracing instead of the usual away section. At the fans forum only 2 weeks ago, Bateson announced this wouldn't happen, but changed his mind after talks with the police. Admission prices have also gone up for the game from £6 to £8 to cover police costs.
Let's take a look at 6 games, and there's confirmation of the 10-point gap at the bottom, although Torquay do have a game in hand on Scarborough. Thankfully, Stevenage won again in the conference yesterday to boost Torquay's chances of staying in the league. Now, we've got a big programme for you next Sunday afternoon. We'll have extended coverage of the big Devon derby between Exeter and Plymouth. 10 games left in which to make up a 10-point deficit at the foot of Division 3 following last night's setback at Rochdale. Martin Dean reports.
It was the same old story for Torquay at Spotland last night. They had their chances to win the game, but failed to make the most of them. Rochdale's John Deary showed them how it was done with a perfectly flighted 32nd minute free kick. But Torquay failed to take heed of that particular lesson, despite having more than their share of second-half opportunities. Even so, they can count themselves a little unfortunate to have gone further behind from a controversial penalty, following what appeared to be a pretty innocuous challenge. Steve Whitehall scored from the spot. Torquay could have few complaints about Rochdale's 3rd goal, though. Steve Winter failed to cut out a harmless-looking cross, and Dave Thompson cashed in on the easiest of chances.
Well, there was disappointment for West Country racing fans when this afternoon to winning ways after that midweek defeat at Rochdale. Eddie May ringing the changes after Ian Gore's move to Doncaster. Trainees Gary Monk and Wayne Thomas both in the starting lineup. And there was also a recall for goalkeeper Ashley Bays. Our commentator, David Croft.
Referee Mr Graham Pooley getting off this game. Torquay attacking the goal away to our right. And the ball straight out of touch for a Colchester throw. Shoving the back on Charlie Oatway. Kinsella in midfield for Colchester. Good ball forward to find Adam Locke. And Locke will go on a bit of a run for the home side. Spreads it out to that far wing. Fry. Forward looking for McLeish, on loan from Peterborough at the moment. He just finds Kinsella. Kinsella looking for the man making the run. That man's got his flying shot and a goal! 5 minutes gone and Torquay are behind, and that's not what you need when you're the league's bottom club. The defence split wide open and Torquay are a goal behind. Well, it was a lovely move from Colchester. Superb play in and around the penalty area, and Chris Fry's shot. Ashley Bale stood absolutely no chance. Great shot, super goal. It's Colchester 1, Torquay 0. Baker looking for Hall. There's a bit of a slip, and Ian Hathaway could be in here. He has a man in support. Wethermill tried to shot himself, and that was only an inch or 2 away. Well, Torquay's best chance of the half so far. A bit of a slip, a bit of a hesitation in the Colchester defence, and Ian Hathaway was clean through. He had Wayne Thomas in support if he'd only have pulled it back. He went for the shot himself and was so close to getting the equaliser. Parker's header on looking for Thomas, but Caesar was first to it. Watson, who's having a great battle with Tony Adcock this afternoon. A real handful, the Colchester number 10. He's not really had much of a sniff so far. Alex Watson doing his job well, even though his team are a goal down. The throw in onto McCarthy, lays it back looking for McLeish. The shot might come in from Adam Locke. That wasn't a bad effort from the number 8. Nicely worked throw in that once again splits open the Torquay defence. It was just touched back for Adam Locke to have a crack from the edge of the area. He kept it low, but couldn't quite keep it on target. Locke turning it forward, looking for McLeish to chase. Barrow's clear, it's not really going anywhere except high up in the air, and Kinsella now can run to the byline. Good low cross looking for Paul Gibbs it was at the near post. But Lee Barrow and Gary Monk combining well. And the corner is all they win. Coughlin heads that away. And it's a throw in to Colchester. Early pressure at the start of this second half. McCarthy with a long throw aimed, looking for Gibbs at the near post. It's Gibbs that gets the shot. Well, it was actually McLeish in the end. It was Gibbs at the near post. McLeish with a shot. The throw in aimed at the near post. It was Gibbs that got the flick on, and McLeish, what a finish. Ian Hathaway sends a long one into the area. The keeper fists away and fists straight to Kinsella, but it's picked up well by Oatway. He might have a go himself, and that's a fine save by Andy Petterson. Well, the first time that Torquay have managed to get a shot on target in the entire match, and what a good save it was from Andy Petterson. Good ball in. Fry goes down, and that's a penalty. Well, Fry's pace has been a handful all afternoon. Alas, for Paul Scott Stamps, he's brought down the number 2 inside the area. And that's a penalty. Bets them with a penalty. 3-0, and it's so easy when you're pushing for promotion. Perfect way to take a penalty, wait until the keeper's moved and hit it the other way. Locke making the run down the line. Keeps it in play well. Good turn inside of Lee Barrow to Whitton. Drills it in at the near post is Adam Locke, and that's a fine save by Ashley Bales. Well, the pace of this Colchester side is relentless. Good run down the right wing from Adam Locke. Just laid it off to Whitton. Got the return. Fierce low shot, and Bales down to his left very well indeed. Fry drills it in. Bales comes and catches at the second attempt. Baker trying to get in ahead. The ball is put forward by O'Slate, and it's gone in! Well, Torquay deserved a bit of luck today. You feel that it's come too late, but they'll take the goal anyway. A real mix-up between Petterson and his defence. Stabbed forward by O'Slate, and the ball just trickled over the line, despite the strong challenge from Peter Corley, but he couldn't get anywhere near it. 3-1. Baker on the far side, turns inside Betts, tries a little lob from long range, and that's not far wide. Well, the goal has given Torquay fresh life. Lovely ball to find Paul Baker in some space. Great shot. And Pettersson scrambling to his right-hand post. Relieved to see the ball flash just wide of it.
Well, despite that result, Torquay is still 10 points adrift at the bottom. Their closest rivals, Scarborough and Cambridge, both lost yesterday. Exeter stay in 12th position. They're 8 points away from the playoff zone starting line-up, while Dane Rifi Hadoui was left on the bench. Let's join Martin Dean.
Coughlin finding Winter. Inside towards Oakway, but can't control that one. As well to retrieve the situation. And Stamps playing it forward for Hancocks, but it's too far in front of him. Stamps will have a chance to redeem himself now. Baker with a knock back inside. Picked up by Coughlin. Need to get that cross in towards Hancocks on the far side. Not a bad effort from Richard Hancocks. To the side netting in the end. Encouraging early signs from Torquay. Getting a bit of pressure on this Hereford defence. Cross from Coughlin. Hancocks climbing well on that far post. Wilkins getting the head on. Now Oakway. Managing to thread it through to Baker. Coughlin. Support from Stamps. Aimed in towards Baker. Well, missing his kick though. Oakway doing well to cut it out. It wouldn't quite bounce where he wanted it to. Now Baker. Baker trying the shot. Oh, just wide from Paul Baker. I think in fairness, Andrew de Bont got a little touch on it to put it away for the corner. And a good build-up. Charlie Oakway again doing well. Setting Baker away. Shot right across the face of that goal. I think de Bont just getting the touch for the corner. This is Lloyd. Down the line for Pittman. Can't keep his feet. In the end, Mark Hall coming across to put it out for the throw. And in towards Cross. Wilkins again, looking to get that ball in towards Steve White this time. Comes off Lee Barrow for the corner. Pittman then with the corner. In towards that near post. Came off Baker's head. On in at the far post. Yes, it's been turned in. And Hereford take the lead through Steve White. Really very much against the run of play. Cross turned in by Pittman. It came off the head, in fact, of Paul Baker. Torquay failing to clear it at the far post. And Steve White, the goal poacher, just turning the ball in. Watson. Stretcher coming on. Worried about Watkins' jaw, I think. Watkins going off, possibly for more treatment. No sign of an immediate substitution. And Torquay have the free kick. Coughlin then. Down towards that far post. A header from Hancocks. And Richard Hancocks gets the equalising goal. Well, it was simple in the end. Nicely flighted free kick from Russell Coughlin. Richard Hancocks getting up well. And just knocking the ball into the bottom corner of the net. Well, suspicion of an elbow there. What's the referee going to do? It's a red card immediately for Nicky Cross. Well, the referee spotting the elbow. And no hesitation at all from Barry Knight. Nicky Cross giving his marching orders. Evans with the throw. And they're looking for space to turn. Still going Tony Pounder. And the shot coming in from number 3, Kevin Lloyd. Well, he struck it quite well. I don't think it really looked as if it was going to give Ashley Bays any undue problems. This is Evans. Kelly coming in to get the challenge in, but fails to make it. Evans with the cross. Steve Winter. Oh, good defending in the end. One of those dangerous balls across the face. Winter coming in from that right back position, getting it away well. Cox again. Towards Baker on the far side. Now Watson. By Brough. Coughlin looking to drive the cross towards the far post. Baker was coming in. Had it firmly enough, Paul Baker, but he had a lacking something in terms of direction. This is Stoker. Strong challenge from Steve Winter, but Hereford who gets the throw. Watson getting in a challenge. Now Stoker finding Pittman. Pittman getting in the shot. Bays holding it at the second attempt. Just for a moment or two, as if that one might get away from Ashley Bays. Kelly heading towards Williams. Is penalised. Torquay get the free kick. And they'll make something from this one. Way trying to get on with things. White trying to delay it. Coughlin with the free kick. Played in towards Baker. Good save. Well, Andrew de Bon keeping his side in the game then. The best chance by far of this second half. Lovely free kick again from Russell Coughlin. Baker getting in with a header. Not plenty behind it, but Andrew de Bon somehow managing to keep it out.
In the second half, Hereford, even with 10 men, play 5 at the back. And they virtually said to us, come at us and see what you can do. And it was disappointing. It was garbage. I mean, there's no other word for it. And I thought the players would have learned the lesson from the Hartlepool's game, because all we've done was just knock high balls in there, because we had so much of the ball.
So you seemed to just sort of run out of ideas, really, in the second half. They didn't seem to find any way at all that they were going to break down the Hereford defence.
Some players at this level especially are better when they're under pressure. They're in the third division players, some of them. When they've got time and space on the ball, they can't pass the ball from A to B. And that's the stark truth. And there's players out there today, as I say, played as if they'd, led in their boots, if you think, second half. But no idea, they were sloppy. They expected things to happen without making them happen. And I'm disappointed with the second half performance.
And we'll look at Torquay's position and the gap at the bottom of Division 3 right at the end of the programme.
All football teams are in.
Gyle are probably looking more like playoff prospects than candidates for automatic elevation to Division 2. 3 points from 2 games, courtesy of yesterday's win at Plainmoor, leaves them in 5th place, although they'll drop to 6th if Bury beat Scarborough tonight.
Ronnie Mauger's headed goal after just 5 minutes certainly helped to settle Argyle's promotion jitters. But had Torquay been able to match that kind of finishing during long spells when they had the better of things, it might have been a different story. Adrian Littlejohn's opportunist effort late in the game, his first goal since December, eventually settled the issue. Torquay's Football League fate now looks to be even more firmly in the hands of Stevenage, who beat their nearest rivals Woking to maintain their lead in the conference. Exeter City's Easter ended in disappointment. They were well beaten by Hereford at St James's Park.
Gathered for a weekend trip to the north and the game against Bury. The chances of Torquay getting off the bottom look remote. Thankfully, conference leaders Stevenage have given the Gulls a Football League lifeline. Trina Lake reports.
The Easter Bunny may have forgotten to deliver any holiday happiness to Plainmoor last weekend, but there was still some excellent news for Torquay United fans. Their club's grip on Football League survival was strengthened when Stevenage Borough produced an extra special performance against their nearest rivals for the GM Vauxhall Conference title. Monday's 4-0 win over Woking put Borough bang on course for the Championship. They went 4 points clear at the top of the table with a game in hand. But promotion's still a no-go. Their Broadhall Way ground doesn't come up to scratch, and repeated appeals to the Football League have cut no ice with the hierarchy at headquarters. There to witness the whipping of Woking was a small contingent of Torquay fans, and very happy they were too.
What can you say about 4-0? It's nice to see a team that I was supporting win a game. It's incredible. I haven't been through that for months.
It's not that they don't have some sympathy with Stevenage.
They've done what they needed to do. They're at the top of the league, and they've got there on merit, nothing else. So yes, I can certainly feel for them, and also for Kidderminster 2 years ago and Macclesfield last year. But as I say, if that's our route to safety, then we're not going to moan about it. We'll take whatever we can.
The Gulls have been gambling with their Football League fate for much of this season, but they can still hit the jackpot with the Stevenage Stadium situation.
I can see why they're not going to be allowed into the league, basically. It's a very nice little ground, but it's not up to league standard by any stretch of the imagination. There's poor crowd control. It's very cramped, but quaint. That's all I'm prepared to say.
Stevenage say the work needed to get their ground up to league standard could be completed in time for the start of next season, but they still seem destined to suffer the same fate as Macclesfield and Kidderminster before them.
It's happened for the last 2 seasons, and I think this is something the Football League should take note of. The whole basis of football is based on the pyramid, and we are at the peak of the pyramid, which is to allow clubs to promote themselves right through the ranks, as indeed Wimbledon have done over the years, Wickham and Barnet. Now then, they can't start denying the basis of football, and they've done this for 2 years now, and I think it's about time they looked at the rules to see if they're fair and just.
That's not likely to happen in time to satisfy Stevenage. It seems they remain on the road to nowhere, while the Torquay battle bus just keeps rolling on.
And those fans up at Gig Lane to see yesterday's match against Bury. Manager Eddie May forced to make several changes because of injuries, and Russell Coughlin, Richard Hancock and Jamie Ndar were all in the starting lineup. The commentator, Dave Croft.
Dean West to take the corner. Chips it in, little shot comes in, cleared off the line. And I think that was Charlie Oatway back there for Torquay. They haven't quite cleared it as Dawes plays it back in, looking for Carter. West picks it up. Hawthorne has gone to the byline with him, and West runs that out for a goal kick. But early pressure on the Torquay defence. Beautiful corner and cleared off the line. And that looked like Charlie Oatway back there doing the rescuing job for Torquay. Cox clears it, but straight at Gary Brabin. Alex Watson missed the ball, but took David Pugh out with one swift blow from the kneecap, I think it was. Free kick nonetheless. And the Bury fans in the main stand suddenly find voice. Number 4 has a little shot. That was Nick Dawes, and it wasn't far away. Williams heads on looking for Oatway. John Rose beats him to it, but then hands it straight back again, and Dar is beaten in the air by Jackson. And Williams knocks it back to Winter. Back out again to Williams. This is a good build-up from Torquay as Williams plays it in, looking for Baker at the far post. Can he score? No! Good save from Lee Bracey. Still not cleared as Williams picks it up at the edge of the area, turns it back in. Couldn't find Ndar, comes to Coughlin. Back out to Winter. This is great pressure from Torquay. Driven in, looking for Baker at the far post. And Baker will let that run out for a throw, and that was Torquay's best chance of the match so far. They're not going to wait to take the throw. Taken instantaneously as Hawthorne drives it across. John Rose heads clear. Coughlin puts it back in again. Oatway jumps with John Rose and then flicks it back for Baker to get the shot in, but this time the effort is on target, but with no power. It's an easy save for Lee Bracey. Corner played into the near post, flicked on by John Rose. Headed away by Oatway for Dawes. Good save from Ashley Bayes. Another good set piece from Bury. Cleared to the edge of the area where Nick Dawes lashed in a shot. Ashley Bayes doing well to palm it away. Bury on the attack. The cross was a poor one from Nicky Dawes. Might come back to Dean West though. Dawes will try again, first time, looking for John Rose, and that was Steve Winter on the edge of the area, who got in a vital touch. Gordon comes in, headed goal was John Rose at the far post, but offside, and it won't count, and Torquay can breathe a huge sigh of relief. Well, the corners have been exposing some frailties in the Torquay defence. Played nicely around the edge of the box. Back to John Rose, whose header was goal-bound. The linesman's flag stops it from taking the lead. Hayes punches, but not convincingly. Carter heads it back across goal, and Hancock's hoofs it away. Put back in by Nicky Reed. Handball, they were shouting, but Carter will try the shot! And the goal had to come. And it was in the air where the battle was won. Back it came from Nicky Reed. Torquay couldn't clear it. And that's where the handball looked to me to have happened as Carter picked it up. Nothing wrong with his shot though, always beating Ashley Bayes. It's Bury 1, Torquay 0. Preston battling with Rigby, making a nuisance of himself, comes to Baker, whose shot is charged down. Matteo is pushed, but manages to get it back out to Hall. Long cross from him, Baker rises, could come to Preston, who blasts it wide.
I think we've improved, but, you know, we haven't improved enough, and I just feel that, looking at players, I've got the maximum out of them, if you like, and they are flat out at the moment, and I don't think they can give me any more as regards ability. And unfortunately, they will go at the end of the season.
Results went with you a certain way today in that Scarborough were defeated. You can still finish above the bottom spot. Is that still in your mind? Can it still be done?
You have to keep believing that, you know, and it's up to us to push on and try and go as close as possible. And as I've said before, and if we finish the season and we turn around and say, well, that's our best shot, then we just miss out. Then at least you've got some satisfaction.
So the gap at the bottom still 9 points. Stevenage 2 points clear in the conference with a game in hand. Torquay, of course, were in action on Easter Monday, the local derby against Plymouth Argyle, part of Seth Conway's football diary.
The last Devon derby of the season, and for Torquay and Plymouth possibly the last in the league for a few years. When they met at Playmore on Easter Monday, Ronnie Morget put Plymouth 1-0 up in the first half. It was never going to be a classic encounter with both sides under pressure, but Argyle made the game safe in the second 45. Adrian Littlejohn found his shooting boots to squeeze the ball in. Exeter finally gave up the chase for the playoffs with a disappointing performance and defeat at home to Hereford. Steve left. Torquay are now almost certain to finish bottom of the table. And in the conference, Stevenage could only draw yesterday and are now 2 points clear of Woking with a game in hand. Well, Plymouth play again on Tuesday. We'll have the highlights of their match at Hereford on West Country Live.
Which club wins the conference, since their future as a league club depends on it. Gerald Sinstad explains why everyone at Plain Moor is now also a Stevenage supporter.
Time for one more. Wilson. Anybody's. Ashley Baines picks out number 8.
When Torquay conceded 8 goals to Walsall in the FA Cup, they thought their season had hit rock bottom. They were premature. Today, it may need a technicality to prevent them falling out of the league altogether. This at a club where there's usually been a smile or two to be had when the chairman and his sidekick have been around. But no longer. Algernon's lips are sealed. He's been banished in disgrace.
He's made one or two flippant comments, which hasn't gone down too well with the supporters, so he's booted into touch at the minute. Yeah, I mean, clearly it's a very serious situation and not one that we planned for. But here we are. We're in a competition, and there's going to be a winner, there's going to be a loser, and we're favourites to lose at the minute.
We've got 4 games left, and you know, if we was to win them all, or 3 wins and a draw, you can still do it, because, you know, at the moment Scarborough, they're not winning either, so it's still possible. come Saturday, if Scarborough was to win, then obviously it means we finish bottom, and we've got to sit back and wait for Stevenage.
At the top of the Vauxhall Conference, Stevenage Borough are almost home and dry. 2 points clear, a game in hand. If they do take the title, they'll save Torquay, because Stevenage would become the third club in 3 years to be barred from setting foot in the Ensley League.
Currently we have 3,700 capacity, of which 500 are seated. To meet the Football League requirement, we need 6,000 capacity with 1,000 undercover seats, which I do find a little strange when the average numbers in the third division is only 2,700.
Stevenage Borough Council have guaranteed that the ground would meet the required standards by the start of next season. A statement from the Ensley League makes clear why that would not be acceptable.
The criteria for admission to the Football League have been in place since 1986 to 1987, when promotion to the league was introduced. For reasons best known to Stevenage, they decided not to complete the work by the December the 31st deadline, and as a result will not be allowed to enter the league if they win the conference title. Stevenage were promoted to the conference in May 1994. Within 2 months, we had sent a team of specialists to help them and ensure they knew exactly what was required to gain admission to the Football League.
The whole basis of football is winning and losing. It's relegation and promotion, and we must put our attentions onto that particular issue. The winner is the one who gets rewarded, not the one who has the best ground.
2 years ago, Kidderminster Harriers were champions, but were denied promotion because their ground, on which they played West Ham in the FA Cup, wasn't up to Ensley standard. Last year, Macclesfield, who'd played host to Chester City while their new ground was built, suffered the same fate. If the league now excludes Stevenage, they should be prepared for Victor Green to continue knocking on their door.
If the rules are that good, if they're that strong, they should take any form of debate and discussion. At the end of the day, football is our national sport. Now, are they going to take away the basic ingredient of our national sport by denying people promotion?
A game against Woking on Easter Monday might have set the problem on one side, at least for now. But Stevenage beat their nearest rivals by 4-0. Mathematically, Woking could still be champions, and their ground meets all the criteria. They recently built a splendid new 2,000-seater stand, and more expansion is possible. But the bookies make Stevenage favourites.
They would be worthy champions if they do win it, and so will Woking Football Club, come to that. But I must say I'll have some sympathy with these rules. I think it's a little bit unfair, but the rules are in place and we have to adhere to those rules.
Meanwhile, back in Torquay, they're still on their toes and on tenterhooks. Their supporters are solidly behind Stevenage, who also, of course, have the backing of the silenced minority.
A red card for Algernon. Stevenage do have a very strong case, though, surely.
Well, I've read that they said they'd have the ground ready for the start of next season. And if that's the case, and they'd had the 6,000 capacity, why can't they come in? This December rule is a strange one, and they've got a good case. Obviously, Torquay are praying that Stevenage do win it and don't come up.
And it is, as the chairman says, a basic tenet of the game, really, that you should have your success rewarded by promotion.
Well, that's right. They've worked hard the last few years, Stevenage, to get where they are, and this is a major achievement for them. And as we've seen the last few years, all these teams who do win it the following year, because they have to improve the ground, haven't got the money to strengthen the sides and they don't win it again.
Difficult situation, though, isn't it? Well, now on to Wednesday's international match at Wembley.
And United's wafer-thin chances of avoiding the wooden spoon would finally disappear. Ray Newland was back in goal, and describing the action for us, Seth Conway.
Davidson on the overlap. He's got Noteman inside him. He still goes. The ball finally comes back to Peter Jackson. He swings it in, looking for Andy Milner with a header! Just over the top. Well, that was determined build-up play by Chester. Jackson swung in the cross, and there was Andy Milner first to the ball, and his header, well, it didn't miss by much. Throw-in comes into Milner, tries to find Chris Priest. Coughlin wins it in the tackle, it's going to come back. And just over the top from Tony Bryan. Hancock's, he's looking for Oatway. Baker's making a run. Baker with the first-time shot. And Neil Cutler was grateful to see it going into his hands. Well, the two up front, Otway and Baker, combined for the first time. And as it dropped down to Baker, his shot on the turn was easy for Cutler. The rain starts to fall here at Plainmoor. Hopefully it won't affect Torquay's play. Fisher has it, tries to get to the byline. He just keeps it in. Milner's inside there. It's going to fall to Notman, to Milner. And how did he miss from there? Well, Torquay with a let-off on that occasion. They couldn't get the ball away. Fisher's cross came over. Notman had the first chance. He scuffed it. And there was Andy Milner with a free header at goal. And he put it over the top. Winter. Nice play by the fullback. He's won the free kick, just brought down by Fisher. Well, Torquay have the chance to go into the half-time break. 1-0 up. Alex Watson's up from the back. He's making the run now. It goes over Watson to Preston. And the youngster's header just goes wide. Coughlin swung in a lovely free kick. Alex Watson was the decoy man. He pulled the defence away. And Preston nipped in, but his header was just too hard and just wide. Baker's got a chance to find Otway again. Preston's on the far side. It's put the youngster a little bit deep, but he's going to get his cross in. Baker's at the far post, a header down, and off the line by Fisher. Well, Torquay's best chance of the game so far. The cross came over, and there was Paul Baker to header the ball down. And in fact, it was Ian Jenkins there by the left of the post to just clear it away. Priest is going to go up against Lee Barrow. It falls to Neil Fisher. Hawthorne loses out, so does Winter. Fisher's got a few in the middle he can aim for. He's going to go it alone. He curls it to that far post and in. At the far post is Chris Priest to put Chester City 1-0 up. And really, that goal in the second half has just come from nowhere. Fisher seemed to be going nowhere on this far side. He managed to cut back in, squared it over, and there was Chris Priest with the diving header to put Chester into the lead. Jenkins with the throw-in, but Watson wins that well. Brian can only half clear to Charlie Otway, but he's felled there by Priest. We're going to have another booking for Chester. Well, Charlie Otway had the chance to get clear then, but Chris Priest stuck out a leg and brought the Torquay midfielder down. Torquay look to work this free kick. Coughlin floats it in. There's Baker with the header, and Torquay are level.